If you're new to gluten-free baking and you walk up to a typical display like this, like Bob's Red Mill product in a supermarket, I'm in a Fred Meyer Kroger's right now, this is mind-numbing, and I can't tell you the number of times I see someone standing here just looking like they're glazed over. So I want to give you a bit of a starter. This isn't for the person who's a seasoned gluten-free baker. You know just as much, maybe more than I do. But if you're just starting off, I want to show you a few tips that I found to get you started, because there are some things to choose from. So like I said, I'm just gonna go over a lot of the Bob's Red Mill. This is a nice one to start with, and I'll tell you why. This is the 1-to-1 baking flour. So this kind of makes it easy. Just if you're used to cooking with unbleached white flour, this is a nice one that'll really make your products like your cookies and your muffins. And even if you're making like gravy, making a roux to thicken a sauce, this will behave very similarly to all-purpose white flour. Always, even though it's, Bob's Red Mill seems healthy, always look at the ingredients. Rice flour, brown rice flour, potato starch. So what you're gonna see in this one, though, is a propensity to spike your blood sugar. I find any rice products, white rice, potato starch, but that's gonna spike your blood sugar. So don't go thinking this is gonna be like super blood sugar friendly. You're still gonna have to treat this like white flour. But it's great if you're really trying to go gluten-free and you wanna make some treats for someone, or if you're making treats for a classroom. But look, they have all these other ones: gluten-free all-purpose baking flour, paleo baking flour, and I could just see this being very confusing. So let's look at the ingredients. On this is the paleo one. So on this one, the first ingredient is almond flour, and then arrowroot starch, and then coconut flour. So what this is gonna do, because it's keto, so that's a clue, this is gonna be easier on the blood sugar, all right? So if you're like gluten-free and you don't wanna spike your blood sugar as much, this is also a little higher in protein. I didn't actually point out protein before, 4 grams of protein. So this could be an idea, but caution for those of you who are trying to minimize oxalates. If that doesn't mean anything to you, don't worry about it. Almond flour is very high in oxalates. That is a non-issue for a lot of you, most of you. Now, this is another one, all-purpose baking flour. Gosh, how is that different from the 1-to-1 baking flour? Let's see, there's so many options. This one features garbanzo bean flour, also known as chickpea flour. I think that's a fairly low oxalate one, good for people with oxalate, maybe histamine issues. But again, that's gonna be easier on the blood sugar. Oh, and fava bean flour. Easier on the blood sugar than this one. So already I'm thinking these two are pretty good. But of course, you're also gonna see people, sorry for the fast pan, just using almond flour and then coconut flour. This is good for gluten-free baking. That's for people who wanna maybe make their own mix. Sometimes I just keep almond flour around by itself because I can throw it in with that 1-to-1. And I can also use it to make things like, some dishes that just call for almond flour. And then, all these brown rice, oat flour. So you can mix and match yourself, but if you're just starting, I recommend you go with a gluten-free mix. It just makes it a little easier on you.